the news around more lockdowns in England, the news that here in Wales we've already been in lockdown for a week and we've got another week left. The constant uncertainty that sits around where you're going to go in your business, what you're going to do, how do you plan, how do you not only survive but thrive. I just want to share with you some ideas, some shifts that are taking place, but also some studies that have been done by McKinsey's, by Bain and Company, and by others that will help you navigate the uncertainty and the turbulence and choose the times of turbulence into times where you can get some of the best opportunities for your business. You know, I fervently believe that through times of turbulence, through times of disruption, there is opportunity. And the mindset that you need is important. And we'll cover that in another session about how the importance to make a decision to emerge from this being a victor, not a victim. But that's for another session. Today, I just want to share with you 3 things that will help you to improve your adaptability. But before I do that, I just want to use a few slides to just go through with you, just to be able to kind of take you through some of this stuff. So the first thing I want to remind you of is that you can get hold of my book, Survive and Thrive, How to Secure, Scale and Succeed in Business. Get yourself a free copy at surviveandthrive.cc. This is massively pertinent right now. The strategies in this book will and are helping businesses through the time, not only to be sort of focused on what do we do here and now, but most importantly, how do you set yourself up to thrive in 2021? And also, this is part of the Business Mastermind podcast. You can listen to that full of really good, powerful interviews and resources on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon Music as well. So adaptability, how do we improve our adaptability? Well, according to Fast Company, we are approaching the fastest, deepest and most consequential technological disruption in history. So we're seeing, of course, a big shift from physical face-to-face to moving into spending time, through Zoom and digitally. That's changing a bigger emphasis on marketing rather than sales, so that balance has been pushed towards the marketing piece to grab people's attention. You're seeing shifts in, of course, the growth, and they're seeing the growth sectors to be those that are either internet related or technology related businesses, video related businesses. The World Economic Forum, came out of this statement even before the pandemic that was saying that by 2022, over half of all employees will need retraining and upskilling. And I look at my kids. My eldest boy is 7, and really thinking about the education system now. He's going to school to learn stuff for jobs that haven't yet even been invented. So it's a huge amount of change happening at this period of time. And we are progressing quicker through the kind of change cycle or bereavement cycle, if you know the work of Dr. Elizabeth Cooper-Ross, or the change cycle Hobson and Scally have looked at in terms of the emotional journey we'll go through a period of change. Well, a recent study by McKinsey's has shown that actually we are now in only a few months, we're at the kind of the stage where we were in 2009 and the last sort of economic downturn. We've got there within 2 or 3 months, where it took us 2 years to get to that place in 2009. So in 2 quarters of 2020, the recession has caused greater or equal stress to execs in companies and than it did in 2 years to get there in 2009. So we are progressing through this cycle quicker, and there's a huge amount more change. But resilience, McKinsey talked about in an article, the emerging resilience, and saying that, interesting, the top quintile, the top 20% of businesses in their sector are already creating the conditions that allow them to generate more growth while keeping their options open. And importantly, they're focusing their minds on planning for 2021 to be a strong year. And I think, like martial artists are trained to sort of hit beyond the target rather than the target. So many people that I've spoken to in business have been consumed by the immediacy of the disruption of 2020, less focused on the 2021 and 2022 and what that will mean mean to their business, and what can they be doing now to set themselves up for a strong 2022 and 2021. Bold moves, that those that are coming out the top 20% will be defined by the bold moves that drive for revenue growth, that will create value in their portfolio, that will grow not only through organic means, but highly likely a key proportion of that boldness and growth will come through acquisitions, through mergers and acquisitions, and then also where they're spending their money in terms of technology. Bain and Company, big international consultancy, said that if you were to increase the adaptability of your business, then you needed to think about three things. You need to focus on three things: direction, flexing your capacity, and having a change-orientated culture. So direction's all about having, what's your North Star? Where is it your business is heading? We're being buffeted by the storms quite literally today and over the weekend in the UK, but we're being buffeted by the storms economically at the moment. And yet, no matter how we might need to adjust the sails and change our course to be able to cope with the immediacy of the current conditions, ultimately, where is our destination? Where is that North Star? What is it that we're up to in the world? What's that purpose that we're driving for? But where we need to be making it really clear to our teams, to our customers, to our marketplace, the direction that we're heading in, that North Star. So it's really, really important. That it's often used statistic that a plane flying from Heathrow to JFK in New York is off course 97% of the time. It's constantly readjusting, but honing in on the ultimate and precise destination of the runway and the approach to that runway. In the same way, we need to be focusing on what's the ultimate destination. A good number of years back, I sailed across the Atlantic, and we did a big detour on the part of the way across the Atlantic of some more than 300 miles to avoid the worst of a storm. But even though we did this big detour, we really had focused in our mind and our planning the ultimate destination being Rodney Bay in St. Lucia in the Caribbean. So that's having that clarity of direction is massively important. The second thing that Bain and Company say that we need to get good at is flexing our capacity. How can we take a greater proportion of our cost base from fixed cost to variable cost? Can we reduce, and many businesses have already been doing that over the last 6 months, but now, again, more round of lockdowns is forcing people to re-examine and re-look at things. Can we be taking it's more of our fixed cost and making it variable, so we can flex our delivery, we can flex our cost base in line with demand. I wrote a short report called Keep Your Boat Afloat, and you can get a hold of that and go to bit.ly/keep your boat afloat, and that'll give you some ideas of the things that you can do in order to be able to ascertain your supply chain, but also to be able to flex capacity. Can you staff up in terms of your employee resource? You staff up to the troughs in demand, and then you fulfill the difference between the trough and peak demand through subcontract, through the gig economy, through freelancers, as an example. Can you create more flexible arrangements around your office space with people working from home, and then you're only using a smaller amount of office space, whether it be for meetings, etc., as and when, of course, we're allowed to do that. Key part of flexing your capacity is improving your cost effectiveness. How can you make a more lean cost base while still delivering the quality and still providing the pace and speed? And the third thing that's really important is creating a change-orientated culture, or a pro-change culture. We've often been grappling in our businesses about how do we engage people to come on a journey of change with us, saying the only constant is change. But actually, now we need to create a culture which really embraces pro-change behaviors, where people are running forward and going, I want to embrace this. Let's work together. Let's iterate forward. Let's work out new ways of adding value and adapting so we can deliver what our changing needs of our customers in a very sort of timely and rapid way. We need to encourage, reward, incentivize pro-change behaviors in our business, because the more we can do that, the more we can refine and iterate our offering of our product or our service to the marketplace, the more that we can do that quickly, the more that we're going to stay relevant, and the more that we're going to not only retain customers, but we're also going to be able to attract new customers. So this change culture has a bias for action. It has behaviors that support change. And, we actually can look at now how adaptable our teams are. And we are very familiar with concepts about IQ, intelligence quotient, and EQ, and emotional quotients, emotional intelligence. Well, actually, now there's a new tool out called AQ, adaptability quotient. And if I've got no affiliation with these guys, just for the record, but I've recently come across it, and I think it's a fantastic tool to take a look at, called the adaptability quotient. And it looks at areas around ability, how and to what degree are you and your teams able to adapt? The second part being character, who adapts and why, and the third part being environment, when does someone adapt and to what degree? So ability, character, and environment are three areas, or sort of that are the adaptability, sort of three measures that adaptability is measured on. So you can take a look at aqai.io, aqai.io as a tool to help you measure adaptability quotient. And if you want to explore about how I can help you do your adaptability quotient and also shift in your business the things that need to happen to increase your adaptability, then reach out, comment, or just drop me a line at gavin@gavinpreston.com. Or if you wanted to jump on a call with me, go to call with Gavin, bit.ly call with Gavin, bit.ly call with Gavin. So I wanted to share those three things to really improve your adaptability. The first of those being really important to have still keep real focus on your ultimate direction. Where is it you're heading? The second one being creating flexibility in your capacity and your cost base, a shift from fixed to variable costs. And the third play, having a pro-change culture where people have pro-change behaviors. They really want to embrace change, increase the pace of innovation and iteration to improve your offering and make sure that your offering to your customers is still relevant. So have a think about in your business how you can take people on that journey of increasing adaptability. You might want to measure it with that tool, the adaptability quotient, and if so, get in touch. But now we have to be iterating, innovating our business and increasing the adaptability of our business.